Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be previewing the game against Newcastle, Manchester City. Take a trip down to Newcastle. It's going to be a tough game, really going to be a tough game considering we are missing our main man. We will discuss it in this video given that I haven't discussed it yet throughout the whole week, given it's been a very busy week for myself. So before we get started, please don't forget to smash the like, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, guys. Let's get into it. Let's start off first with the sad news. Obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Rodri has sustained what has been believed to be an ACL, even though there are mixed reports claiming that it might not be an ACL, maybe it's his MCL, but we know Rodri sustained a knee injury of some sort that's going to keep him out for a while, if not for the entirety of the season, which, as I mentioned, if you're a Manchester City fan, is bad news. If you're a rival fan, it's very good news given what Manchester City's record is like without Rodri. But having said that, I believe Manchester City needing to find a solution to play without Rodri. I think Pep Guardiola will find one. Now, I'm still confident that we can go on and win the league. Obviously, you don't want to lose a player like Rodri, but the amount of the goals he scores, the importance of goals that he scores. Rodri scores some really important goals. And I think if we had him in that game against Arsenal on Sunday, where Kovacic was, I think he probably scores one of those opportunities that Kovacic had on the edge of the box, or creates something to find a way for us to win the game. So that's not diminishing anything Rodri has done or is. I think he's one of the, if not the best player in the world, definitely the best midfielder in the world, in line to win a Ballon d'Or. So everybody knows what Rodri represents. But having said that, I think Pep Guardiola and the squad that we have, hence why the Gundogan signing was, for me, such a big key part, was to have some rotation with Rodri. Now he's not there. Kovacic, I think, is going to be the main guy. Kovacic has to perform in that lone six role, which I think he could. Obviously, I think you'll have to give him a little bit more protection. Meaning if you're probably going to have if you have Rico Lewis inverting, maybe you have Rico Lewis sitting next to him, or you have John Stones inverting from centre backs to give him the protection that he needs, to have maybe Gundogan or even Bernardo Silva next to him in a double pivot. That's the sort of protection I would be looking at. But having said that, I do believe Kovacic can do a job, and he doesn't have to do it. If Rodri's out for the entirety of the season, he does not have to do a job for the whole season. He just has to do a job till January. Can you keep it on the road till January? Because in January, Man City can go out and find a suitable replacement for Rodri, whether that being a Zubamendi, Edison from Atalanta, or Guimaraes, which I don't see happening because I think he's way overpriced. But yeah, it's just, can Kovacic do a job till January, and then we will reassess in January to see who can we go out and get in the January window. So yeah, really disappointing to see Rodri go out, but I don't think it's the end of the world for Manchester City, and I don't believe it's the end of the world for our title hopes. Maybe in the Champions League it will affect us a lot more, but I think over a 38 game season, the best overall team will always win, and I think that is Manchester City. Having said all of that, obviously there's a case, APT case, that it seems Manchester City have won. To be honest, guys, I'm not really a big fan of all this financial cases and all these financial. Look, I'm not the smartest button in the bonnet, yeah. So I'm not going to discuss all these financial things, and because my numbers have never really been my thing, hence I'm in the field that I'm in. So I'm not going to discuss it. I'm just going to start previewing the game. I'm about the football. I don't care about all the other off-field stuff. Obviously, once 115 comes out, we'll have to discuss the outcome. But all these little petty little cases, I'm not going to discuss, to be honest. I think there are plenty of other channels that are doing that, that are discussing the APT regulation wins. It seems to have been a win for Manchester City. So I'm sure you can go find one of the channels that are doing it, and you can get informed from them. But I'm going to preview the game against Newcastle. I think this is going to be a tough game. I think this is a must-win for us. We drew against Arsenal, which is, given the situation of the game, is not a bad point. Look, if you had given me a point 5 minutes into that game, 5 minutes into that game, I'd have told you were crazy. But given how, even going into the break, if you had given me a point, I probably would have taken it, because given that Arsenal were a point down, but given how terrible we were in that second half in terms of breaking the Arsenal block down, I'll take a point. And now when you look at who Liverpool are playing on the weekend, I think Liverpool play, I don't even know who they play, but it's not a very good team, and Arsenal play Leicester, so both teams are probably going to win. We need to win to maintain that 1 point advantage, given that we don't have Rodri. So we need to put ourselves in the best position. We do not need to put ourselves in a position where we need to be clawing back an insane amount of points, given that we don't have our talisman, we don't have our workhorse in terms of Rodri. Obviously, you're Erling Haaland. It's going to be interesting to see if KDB is available for this game. But yeah, I think this is a must-win for Manchester City. I really do. Obviously, I think it being a 12:30 kickoff, I think is an advantage to us, because we don't go play. I don't think the crowd will be up for it as much as they would be if it was like a 5:30 kickoff or an 8 p.m. kickoff, where some of those fans had a couple of pints, and all of a sudden, the crowd just need a little bit of a little incident to happen in the game. All of a sudden, they get behind Newcastle, and it just feels like a tsunami from the tsunami. So yeah, I think it being 12:30 kickoff, I think is a good thing for Manchester City, because I don't believe the crowd will be up for it, because I've seen 12:30 kickoff games. They are just weird. The crowd, I've seen it, I've watched it at Man City play 12:30 kickoff game, and the crowd at the Etihad. I've watched Liverpool play 12:30 kickoff games, and we know what Anfield is like, and it's been very quiet. So I think the 12:30 kickoff in terms of crowd is not the best, and I think we should use this to our advantage. I don't think we should let Newcastle get going into this game, because then obviously the crowd will get into the game. But if we control the game how I know Manchester City control games, get a couple of goals, I don't see why we should not win this game. Honestly, obviously Newcastle have not been good. Newcastle haven't been very good. They haven't had a good start to the season, given that they don't have any European football. So they basically playing one game a week, sometimes two, given the Carabao Cup now. So it's been a poor start from Newcastle. But obviously, them being at home, if this was at the Etihad, this would be I'd be saying something completely different. But the fact that it's at St. James's Park, they will have their crowd behind them. So that's why I think we need to go in there and just control. If there is a game, to be as boring as possible, is this game. Get one goal, pass them to death. Hopefully you create a couple of chances for Erling, have him score, because it seems he's the only one that's putting the ball in the back of the net. Because when we create a couple of chances for other players, they don't seem to have the form to put the ball in the back of the net. So hopefully we create 2-3 chances, maybe two, if we're lucky, two of them, but hopefully one of them falls to Erling, puts in the back of the net, and we go out there with the win. My predicted lineup, I'm gonna go Edison, right back. I'm going Rico Lewis. At this point, I'm playing Rico Lewis. If Rico Lewis is not injured, personally, I'm playing Rico Lewis, because we can't just keep a player in. We can't just play a guy simply because of one game, the Vinicius Junior game. Yeah, I'm playing Rico Lewis. If Rico Lewis is good enough, how do other teams deal with Vinicius Junior that don't have Kyle Walker? Because not everybody has Kyle Walker. So how do the teams that don't have a Kyle Walker deal with Vinicius Junior? If Rico Lewis is good enough, Rico Lewis needs to play. And I believe Rico Lewis is good enough to play against the best defenders, the best attackers in the world. That's why I'm playing. I'm playing Rico Lewis. Given that John Stones started during the week in the Carabao Cup game, I don't think he'll start. So I'm going to go with Kanji and Ruben Diaz. And obviously left back, we're going to go with Mr. Josko Cabardio. In the midfield, I'm going to go Kovacic and what's his name? Gundogan. Kovacic and Gundo. And then on the wings, I'm full sending. I'm going Savinho. I think I'm going to go Jack Grealish, given how well he performed during the week, because I do want some control. I think Savinho will give us that one-on-one pace. And then on the right, I think I'm going to go, what's his name? Jack Grealish. Through the middle, probably going to be Phil Foden, because I don't think, even if De Bruyne is healthy, I don't think he'll start. He'll probably come off the bench. I'm going to go Phil Foden. And the big number 9, Mr. Erling Braut Haaland, who's in sensational form, starts at number 9. And that is my predicted lineup. I'm going to go... I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think I'm going to go 3-1 Man City. I think it will be a tight 2-1 within the game, because somehow we just concede. I just know we're going to concede, because we just concede goals. So I'm going to go 2-1 late and then 3-1 just to seal the game. 3-1 Manchester City. Good win, good 3 points, getting ready for the midweek game, Champions League. So that is my prediction for the weekend, and that is what my predicted lineup. Please don't forget to smash the like, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what your prediction is. I will be doing a watch along, early kickoff, so I will be able to watch that one. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, and God bless.